Hello and welcome to the Táin Cooley reading, The Cattle Raid of Cooley with myself, Lora O'Brien. Sorry, blown into the mic there. Apologies for that. And I just want to start this. I want to introduce you to Queen Maeve herself. She is joining us today on my altar. And that is an original painting that was sent to me by Alana Butler Gallagher, who's a student of ours at the Irish Pagan School. And it is a phenomenal piece of work. And yeah, so she definitely has a place of honor on my altar. And there was some other paintings and artwork that Alana has made. And that's actually Alana's point out there. That is Alana's work as well. So fantastic artist and creative young Irish person. So delighted to be gifted the Queen Maeve original. So anyway, we are going to continue with section 6, which is the March of the Hosts, the March of the Host, excuse me. And we were, let me just share, and we'll see where we left it the last day. So this is the Joseph Dunn translation. So the men of Éireann had passed a horrible night in the snow, where Cuchulainn had basically left them while he went off on a tryst. And the action then goes back to Cuchulainn. So now, as regards Cuchulainn, it was far from being early when he arose from his tryst. And then he ate a meal and took a repast, and he remained until he had washed himself and bathed on that day. He called to his charioteer to lead out the horses and yoke the chariot. The charioteer led out the horses and yoked the chariot, and Cuchulainn mounted his chariot. And they came on the track of the army. They found the trail of the men of Éireann leading past them from that part into another. Alas, O Master Laeg, cried Cuchulainn, by no good luck went we to our tryst with the woman last night. Would that we had not gone thither, nor betrayed the Ultonians. This is the least that might be looked for from him that keeps guard on the marches, a cry or a shout or an alarm or to call who goes the road. This it fell not unto us to say. The men of Éireann have gone past us without warning, without complaint, into the land of Ulster. So Cuchulainn is like waily, beating his chest, and it was my job to, well, he says our job, I suppose. It was our job to give a cry or give a warning when an entire host of, the men of Éireann have passed into Ulster, and we shouldn't have gone to our tryst. So I foretold thee that, O Cuchulainn, said Laeg, who is his charioteer, even though thou wentest to thy woman tryst last night, such a disgrace would come upon thee. Good now, O Laeg, go thou for us on the trail of the host and make an estimate of them and discover for us in what number the men of Éireann went by us. So Cuchulainn's in a scramble now to try and figure out how many enemies have gone into his territory that he's supposed to be guarding while he was away at play. So Laeg came on the track of the host, and he went to the front of the trail, and he came on its sides, and he went to the back of it. Thou art confused in thy counting, O Laeg, my master, quoth Cuchulainn. Confused I must be, Laeg replied. Come into the chariot then, and I will make a reckoning of them. The charioteer mounted the chariot, and Cuchulainn went on the trail of the hosts, and after a long while he made a reckoning of them. Even thou, it is not easy for thee. Thou art perplexed in thy counting, my little Cuchulainn, quoth Laeg. Not perplexed, answered Cuchulainn. It is easier for me than for thee, for I know the number wherewith the hosts went past us, namely 18 cantreads. Nay, more, the 18th cantread has been distributed among the entire host of the men of Éireann. So that is the group from Leinster, remember, who were who Maeve and Ailill decided that, well, Maeve wanted to kill, I suppose, but Ailill decided to, and Fergus decided to split them up. So Cuchulainn has spotted that where Leg had failed to make the count. Now, many and diverse were the magic virtues that were in Cuchulainn that were in no one else in his day. Here we go. Excellence of form, excellence of shape, excellence of build, excellence in swimming, excellence in horsemanship, excellence in chess and in drafts, excellence in battle, excellence in contest, excellence in single combat, excellence in reckoning, excellence in speech, excellence in counsel, excellence in bearing, excellence in laying waste and in plundering from the neighbouring border. So, excellent. Good, my friend Leig, brace the horses for us to the chariot, lay on the goad for us on the horses, drive on the chariot for us, and give thy left board to the hosts, to see can we overtake the van or the rear or the midst of the hosts, for I will cease to live unless there fall by my hand this night a friend or foe of the men of Erin. So Cuchulainn is on the warpath, literally, and he's saying basically overtake them and we'll attack, or he'll attack. If you are joining me in the middle of all this, by the way, do go back. There is a playlist on this channel, and it really would be better for you to start from the beginning, okay? And make sure that you are subscribed and you hit the bell for notifications so that you don't miss episodes, because as you can see, things will get very confusing very fast if you are missing episodes. And I will be doing recap emails through my mailing list, so you can be absolutely sure that you don't miss anything and you get reminded of them. So I'm doing that as a little community service as well, because this whole thing is a bit of a labor of love for me. So make sure that you're doing all the good stuff to keep up if you're interested in it, because I'm putting in the work, so you could as well. So then it was that the charioteer gave the prick to his steeds. He turned his left board to the hosts till he arrived at Turlough Caille Moor, the creek of the Great Wood, northwards of Cnochba Nari, north of the Kings, which is called Athgowla, the ford of the Fork. Thereupon Cuchulainn went round the host till he came to Athgrencha. He went into the wood at that place and sprang out of his chariot, and he lopped off a four-pronged fork, root and top, with a single stroke of his sword. He pointed and charred it, and put a writing in Ogham on its side. So here we are with the writing again in Ogham. And he gave it a long throw from the hinder part of his chariot with the tip of a single hand, in such wise that 2/3 of it sank into the ground, and only 1/3 of it was above it in the mid part of the stream, so that no chariot could go thereby on this side or that. So he's making a physical boundary with basically spiked and wood hardened charred spear tips basically on this single branch, right? But as with the withy earlier on, he put the Ogham writing on it. Now, if you don't know what Ogham is, over at the Irish Pagan School, I have a free course that's 3 truths about Ogham. So you can go to the irishpaganschool.com and get a little insight into what the Ogham is and what all this might be about, okay? And again, it's free. So go over and join up, enroll for that course over there. There's links to that below as well, to the Irish Pagan School. So then it was that the same 2 striplings surprised him, namely the 2 sons of Nera, son of Nuachar, son of Táin, while engaged in that feat. And they vied which of the twain would be the first to fight and contend with Cuchulainn, which of them would inflict the first wound upon him and be the first to behead him. Cuchulainn turned on them, and straightway he struck off their foreheads from themselves, Air and Indal, and from Foch and Fochlam. So these are do you remember earlier they were saying that there were, earlier as in the last episode I think, that there were 2, the sons of Nera, I thought it was, yeah, the 2 sons of Nera, who liked to kind of avoid the rush and tumble of the main host and to go on and about the place. So basically Cuchulainn has come across these 2 with their 2 charioteers, right? And killed them. and they thought that they could take him, and they were kind of fighting to be the first to take Cuchulain's head, and be the first to wound him and the first to behead him. But Cuchulainn takes all four of them in a fight. And he fixed a head of each man of them on each of the prongs of the pole. And so endeth the sons of Nera. And Cuchulainn let the horses of the party go back in the direction of the men of Erin to return by the same road, their reins loose around their ears and their bellies red, and the bodies of the warriors dripping their blood down outside on the ribs of the chariots. Thus he did, for he deemed it no honour, nor deemed he it fair to take horses or garments or arms from corpses or from the dead. Now, that little explanation is all well and good. So he's supposedly being honourable by not stripping the dead or, taking what he needs from the dead. But he's out basically living off the land while he kind of uses guerrilla tactics around this much larger army that is invading Ulster. And don't tell me for 1 second that this is not a psychological ploy, that, he's picking off the ones that are away from the main host, which everybody would know would be away from the main host if they're kind of, if they're not part of the party. So he sends them back anyway. And then the troops saw the horses of the party that had gone out in advance before them, and the headless bodies of the warriors oozing their blood down the ribs of the chariots, and their crimsoned trappings upon them. The van of the army waited for the rear to come up, and all were thrown into confusion of striking, that is, as much as to say, into a tumult of arms. So his ploy has been effective, right? His psychological ploy. So Maeve and Fergus and the Main and the sons of Maga drew near. So the Main are Maeve and Aliel's 7 sons, and the sons of Maga drew near. For in this wise was Maeve wont to travel, and 9 chariots with her alone, 2 of these chariots before her, and 2 chariots behind, and 2 chariots on either side, and her own chariot in the middle between them. This is why Maeve did so, that the turves from the horses' hooves, or the flakes of foam from the bridle bits, or the dust of the mighty host, or of the numerous throng might not reach the queen's diadem of gold which she wore around her head. So her crown, basically. She doesn't want it to get dusty, so she's protecting herself. And again, she's obviously physically putting people between herself and anything that might be out there as well. So, she's not stupid. What have we here? Queried Maeve. Not hard to say, each and all made answer. The horses of the band that went out before us are here, and their bodies lacking their heads in their chariots. They held a council, and they felt certain it was the sign of a multitude and of the approach of a mighty host, and that it was the Ulstermen that had come, and that it was a battle that had taken place before them on the ford. And this was the counsel they took to dispatch Cormac Conlongus, Concor's son, from them to learn what was at the ford, because even though the Ulstermen might be there, they would not kill the son of their own king. So Cormac is in exile with Fergus, and Cormac survives this because there is a later tale where he's going back after Concor is dead. He's going back and he comes across the Bive washing a bloody chariot basically at the ford. So she's as the washer at the ford, which is a different story, which I have. I've also think I have a reading of it on this channel as well. I'm pretty sure I do. And I definitely have a blog post about it over at loraobrien.ie. So go over there and check that out. So thereupon Cormac Conlongus, Concor's son, set forth, and this was the compliment with which he went: 1,000 in addition to 2,000 armed men, to ascertain what was at the ford. And when he was come, he saw naught save the fork in the middle of the ford, with 4 heads upon it, dripping their blood down along the stem of the fork into the stream of the river, and a writing in ogham on the side, and the signs of the 2 horses, and the track of a single chariot driver, and the marks of a single warrior, leading out of the ford, going therefrom to the eastward. By that time, the nobles of Erin had drawn nigh to the ford, and they all began to look closely at the fork. They marvelled and wondered who had set up the trophy. One of their men deciphered the writing that was on the side of the fork, to wit, "A single man cast this fork with but a single hand, and go ye not past it till one man of you throw it with one hand, excepting Fergus." So this is the same kind of challenge as the withy that was set before. So Cuchulainn is, getting ahead of them and trying to basically slow them down as they're coming into Ulster. "What name have ye, men of Ulster, for this ford till now?" Fergus asked Ailill. "Oth Grenka," answered Fergus, "and Oth Gowla, ford of the fork, shall now be its name for ever from this fork," said Fergus, and he recited the lay. "Grenka's ford shall change its name from the strong and fierce hound's deed. Here we see a four-pronged fork set to prove all Erin's men. On 2 points, a sign of war, are Freke's head and Fucknam's head, and on its other points are thrust Er's head and Inal's withal. And yon oam on its side, find ye Druids in due form. Who has set it upright there? What host drove it in the ground? A Druid. Yon forked pole with fearful strength, which thou seest, Fergus, there, one man cut to welcome us with one perfect stroke of sword, pointed it and shouldered it, though this was no light exploit. After that he flung it down to uproot for one of you. Grenka was its name till now, all will keep its memory. Fork Ford be its name for aye, from the fork that's in the ford." So I'm going to leave that there for this one, and we will continue much more of this. There's another lay. So we'll get this finished. We'll get this section finished in the next video, okay? And then we'll carry on from there. So make sure you subscribe and hit the bell for notifications so you don't miss a video, all right? And as I said, get over on the mailing list at loraobrien.ie for lots of authentic Irish resources coming delivered direct to your email, but also you will get the updates with the catch-up posts about the Táin recordings as they are released on YouTube. Okay, so slán go full, and I will see you in the next video.